Nithyanandam, this is Bodhana, filming again from the Bengaluru Adinam. After the last day of Nithyananda Yogam, the program that I came here for back in September, and we just graduated. We're called the Navatratri Batch. So in this video I want to talk a little bit about Nithyananda Yogam, what it was about, what I got out of it, what I'm leaving with. And with the hope that every one of you can also join Nithyananda Yogam. So what is Nithyananda Yogam? It's a program that Swamiji came up with. The first thing I want to say about it is if you get invited to Nithyananda Yogam, drop everything and come. It's really been one of the most amazing experiences I've had. If you look at the logic of it, maybe not logically, this is what Swamiji were calling about length, when we're talking about the dimensions, but the breadth and depth of this program, what it's inserted in me is, well, always we say this, it's beyond words, but I'll try to explain. So first of all, our batch, which we call the Navatratri Batch, because we were here during Navaratri, is from around the globe. What Swamiji wanted for us, as you recall, back in October, he was really working on the idea of the matrix. And coming out of the matrix was what you would get out of coming to Sadashivoham 2016. And he made so many beautiful analogies. But for our batch, one of the things he wanted for us was to all become leaders of our own spaceship. Right now, of course, Swamiji is the leader of the cosmic spaceship and always will be. But for each of us to go to the next level. I've actually seen some people who have not joined when they were invited because they weren't ready, because the job wasn't ready, because there were things in life that weren't ready. But what I want to tell you is Swamiji clearly said yesterday that he invites you when he sees that you're ready. And when Swamiji sees that you're ready, it's beyond what we know. We are so much more than we think we are, and Swamiji's here to reveal that, here to make that manifest in us. And that's what he's doing in Nithyananda Yogam, in an extremely casual, unstructured way. So this is the program, a casual, unstructured program in Swamiji's living space called the Courtyard. So I'm sure at this point you've heard so many comments about the Courtyard, tea in the Courtyard, coffee in the Courtyard, eating with Swamiji in the Courtyard. It's just been the most beautiful, intimate experience. But what we got out of it was beyond beautiful and intimate. What we got out of it was seeing someone who's micromanaging the macrocosm, who knows every detail of what's going on and is able to manage each of those effortlessly without what he has coined decision fatigue. This is one of the things that came out of the 3-month Nithyananda Yogam, is his leading us out of our own decision fatigue, meaning that any decision that we make that's not coming from a space of powerfulness will cause fatigue. And then you just start swimming through this muck that we all know when we're trying to make decisions, or we're trying to break the sleep pattern, or break the, various other comfort patterns that are not necessarily giving us life. So this was a little bit about Nithyananda Yogam. We had the beautiful experience the night before our graduation where Swamiji gave us a process where he wanted us to reflect on the most powerful or most precious moments with Swamiji, and then he would bolt that, insert that into us, so that in the usual time of going into powerlessness, which then would result in losing the ability to manifest powers, this is just going to stay with us. So that itself will rise up to fill us. And I can say it's been 3 days, this has already happened for me. But what happened when I was writing on these experiences, I realized that there was kind of a cross-section of areas, each of which had completion and fulfillment in comparison to when I came. So I'm just going to describe them to you. I think there were 4 different experiences. The first experience was sitting in the courtyard almost on the first day. The previous batch was there, and he was discussing about being integrated with him. called being integrated with Swamiji. And he kept using this phrase again and again. Like, that person is not integrated with me, or you all need to be integrated with me. So I was having confusion. What does this mean exactly? I understood integrated. I understand integrity in terms of the 4 powers Swamiji's given us. Integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching. But I didn't understand the idea of integrity with Swamiji. I understand doing Guru Vak, doing what Swamiji says, you know, basically living my life through him or what he says, but this seemed to have a different quality. Now, when you ask Swamiji a question, be very clear that the answer is usually directly for you. How he answered is for my growth, my being, not necessarily for anyone else's, although other people may get a click from it. So when I asked this question to Swamiji and said, what does integrity to Swamiji mean? He said, it means having a single thought trend. Now, I hadn't heard this definition before. The minute he said it, it did penetrate something deep inside. And I thought, yes, I've always had at least 2 thought trends. Definitely at least 2. What happens when you have 2 thought trends? Confusion, lack of clarity in decision making, you know, maybe putting half of your energy here, half of your energy there. If you watched my last video, I was talking about compromise. It could be the source of compromise. So when he said having a single thought trend, when Swamiji says something like this directly to you, you can be sure the minute it's said, a healing starts to happen in you. The healing of the place where there exists 2 thought trends, basically doing damage. So it was such a beautiful answer. I immediately started thinking of this again and again. It would come up, this idea of a single thought trend. Only Swamiji. How would Swamiji want? What does Swamiji say? What is Swamiji asking us to do? Just today, again, he said in satsang that if you only just start doing the morning routine, attending Nithyananda Yoga and Rudra Abhishekam, Guru Puja, these 2 alone will wipe out years of lack of integrity. So that integrity to Swamiji, that single thought trend, was the first fulfillment, the first gift I got. The second thing that I wrote about was that I was on stage sharing, and Swamiji responded. It was in response to a comment I made about his managing more about managing, I think, the globe, the earth, something like that. And then that I had been to Akashic reading, and about my realization of why I was born into this body in the United States versus having been in India for many lifetimes. And Swamiji responded. And it wasn't what he said, it was the fact that then I responded and he responded. And it was something I had so much longed for, this intimacy, this casual conversation back and forth. He spoke about this also. This felt so parallel. It so much completed something in me about having this type of relationship with Swamiji, this easy, small talk that's actually very significant. So the second thing was this feeling of oneness with Swamiji, this feeling of completion of something I had longed for. So that was the second thing I wrote about. The next thing I wrote about was that I'd gone to Akashic reading several times feeling that my relationship with Swamiji was a little strained. Like there's just something I couldn't get through. And Ma Shivagyana from Texas said something so beautiful. She talked about how there's a ripe fruit there and you're just not going to the tree and taking it and eating it. And I thought, oh my God, that's it. Here's Swamiji right here. But I don't know how to taste that fruit. I don't know how to fully take it in. So I went to Akashic reading and I asked. And in Akashic reading, Kalabhairava said to me, just see Swamiji as your father, that's all. And I left Akashic reading a little bit stunned because I couldn't quite equate my dad, who's passed away, with Swamiji, nor relationship-wise. I couldn't see it, but I just let it go. And before you know it, the next most beautiful happening was that we watched Matrix 2 together in Rajya Sabha, the whole Nithyananda Yogam team and Swamiji. He was on a low chair, like a lounge. We were all on the floor around him with pillows, sitting on carpets, having some shawls for warmth. And it was just the most casual setting, and he kept taking the microphone and making comments, and you know, there'd be a point where we would all laugh together or, you know, see something, like everybody would get the same point about the point he was trying to make about Matrix. But what I realized is I had the comfort of my father, the comfort of like a family, my whole Sangha, the global Nithyananda Yogam around me with Swamiji. And so that fulfillment happened, that breaking down of that distance, of that space. So this was a third beautiful thing. The fourth thing that happened is that when Swamiji was making the alchemy products, he was in a high state of samadhi. And he got done, and he was walking to his room. You could see the incredible and high frequency state he was in. You could feel it. We could actually smell it. I mean, it was pervading everything. And he called Sundareshwara over to him, and he made a beautiful Guru Vak or Tatastu to Sundareshwara. Then he called the Balasants, and he started giving the powder off of his hands one by one. And he passed me. There was a few Balasants, and there was me. Then he turned back and he said, Bodhana, take it. And I took it off of his hand, and it was such an incredible moment. Then he laid down on this divan that he has on the side, and he called me again, Bodhana. He said, come and take it from my feet. Now, I made a video just a couple of days ago on the lower identity, and I think this is what happened, a healing of the lower identity, because really there's a part of me that's like longing to be called like this, but always thinking, but I won't, because I'm not a Balasant, I'm not a Mahant, I'm not in his inner circle, all of these doubts. And when he called me to take this off his feet, the preciousness of being allowed to touch his feet with both hands. I mean, you know, we can have darshan and touch his feet, but we don't do that much anymore. But to know the sacredness of this being, to know what he's done to come down on planet Earth with us, and to be allowed this, it was beyond my comprehension, but it elevated something in me. It lifted something up, and I'll never ever forget it, and I'll always be in the most deep gratitude to Swamiji for that. And then I applied this Virium powder on me, and really it was like, I don't know, fully I mean, once you're enlightened, you don't have the question anymore that you're enlightened, but I was definitely in an extremely high frequency state for several days after that. So I really want to thank Swamiji for that. The next experience that I had, that I wrote about, was on Deepam Day. Swamiji was sitting in the Sadashivoham on a brass bull, and they'd made it so that he could see both, you know, easily turn and see the front and the back. And it was just casual question and answer session, just sitting there with Swamiji in his 6-foot form, as I mostly know Swamiji, when suddenly I literally saw him as Shiva. One of my very first experiences with Swamiji, when he told me what a name would be, a spiritual name, is the experience of Shiva in Kailash. This was that same space. I saw him as Shiva. Everything expanded to this huge place, and I just started crying, weeping, like I hadn't remembered, like I had known but I had forgotten. That's all I can say. It was a remembrance. And I just kept looking and soaking it in and soaking it in. And what I'm trying to convey to you is that you're seeing a 6-foot body form, but what I was seeing was huge and expanded. And the main thing Swamiji wanted for us out of this Nithyananda Yogam was to experience oneness with him. The way that he experienced oneness with Arunagiri Yogishwara, who was an incarnation of Sadashiva. Swamiji got that oneness. It was the big gift he got from about a 12-month period of being able to spend it exclusively with Arunagiri Yogishwara in Tiruvannamalai in the temple. This is what he wanted for us, what he wants for hundreds and hundreds of his devotees. To have that experience of oneness, because it'll just take you beyond what you think you are. It'll take you to the next level. And that day in Sadashivoham, I really experienced oneness with this expanded state of Shiva. And then it went on, because two more things happened. There was a procession, and in this procession there were Kalabhairava dancers, female dancers, these pot dancers. I was just dancing with them like I was one of them in this expanded state. And then Swamiji's palanquin came, and there he was with this gold crown, and again I just saw him as Shiva. I can't describe the ecstasy inside. It's just an amazing experience. Then we had Shiva Diksha. Like, this just goes on, and I was so excited inside. Everybody kept saying, how can you be with him so long and not have had Shiva Diksha? Just the various programs I've been to and have not been to, I just missed it. But maybe it was meant to be, because after seeing him in this expanded form and then having the Shiva Diksha, I was just like, I'm getting initiated by Shiva himself into Shiva Diksha. I'll have some future video about the Shiva Diksha, what it means, but you can also look online. So anyway, what I experienced in this particular thing, what I wrote, that I experienced, was this incredible expansion and this oneness, which is what Swamiji wanted us to have. So I had these 4 things that I was writing about, and then that we meditated on, and Swamiji inserted into our being. Then we had the most beautiful blessing, goodbye ceremony for Nithyananda Yogam Navatratri Batch. And in this goodbye ceremony, Swamiji really wants to send us off. He wants Mahants to populate the globe. We need more leaders. This is what he's trying to do in Nithyananda Yogam. Take all of us to the next level. Have us all become leaders, regional leaders, global leaders of Hinduism, of our Sanghas, spreading Sanatana Hindu Dharma, which is real, letting people know it's real, manifesting powers which are a part of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. So in the last ceremony, he's blessing all of us. He's sending us off to all parts of the globe. And all I can say is, it's the most amazing experience, and we have to thank Swamiji for coming down in the body, in the human form, to give us this kind of experiences, to be creating the new species, which he's doing with the Balasans, where there will be a new strand of DNA found, which will be called Nithyananda DNA, which is going to be responsible for all of these amazing 400 powers, which he's continuing to work on. I have the Tanetra Tilak, which shows, it's from the Agamas, which shows that I am manifesting powers. Right now, body scanning, remote vision, I can look into this granite block and the Yananjana on it, the Krista Sila. So all of these are these amazing gifts that I got that Swamiji says aren't even from his treasure chest itself. So again, if you get the invitation to go, if you get the chance to apply and are accepted, go to Nithyananda Yogam, be part of Swamiji, be part of the global Sangha, go to the next level, take up that leadership. If you miss Sadashivoham, the next Inner Awakening is coming up February 26th. You can come to Mahashivaratri here on the Bidadi campus. And after that, you can attend 2 weeks of Inner Awakening, followed by a week of Sadashivoham, receiving the alchemy products, getting initiated, taking you to the next level. So thank you for watching. I enjoy all of you enjoying my channel. Sorry, without you, there would be, no channel for people to enjoy. So thank you so much. And I look forward to bringing you the next video. I welcome your comments. Please subscribe, and Nithyanandam, and thank you from the Bengaluru Adinam.